Hi, this is Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton. Welcome back into my kitchen where this week we are doing crock pot meals all week. So we also had a series for how does that Pinterest recipe taste as well. Well, I want you to know that I got this crock pot recipe off of Pinterest. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone. This is also going to be how does that Pinterest recipe really taste, and it's also a crock pot series recipe. So I'll post that on both series. Now here we are I just had a pound of hamburger. You can do this all the way up to 3 pounds of hamburger depending on the size of family that you have. I just browned a 1 pound of hamburger because it's just my husband and I've browned it and I've drained it. Okay, and here are my ingredients. I had some leftover tomato sauce or puree with some spices already in it that I made for that ravioli. So, and it had the mushrooms in it as well. And since this called for mushroom soup, this is perfect because it called for a tomato puree and the mushrooms. So this right here would work perfect. Or you can just use 16 ounces of a tomato puree. So here is, this is the gluten-free version of the Progresso Creamy Classics, and it's creamy mushroom. And or I could have used my home canned cream of mushroom soup, but that was so good and so expensive, and since this was just one of those quick meals and odds are you're not going to have that, I decided to stick with the recipe. Here's some of my dehydrated peppers. You can throw in fresh peppers. I'm just going to throw in about a tablespoon of these. That equals about 2 small red and orange peppers. I'm going to use beef base because this calls for onion soup, and I can't have the onion soup because it has glutens in it. So I have to make up my own version. So instead, I'm adding the carrots, the chopped potatoes. I got 2 very large baking potatoes here. It'd probably be equivalent to 4 little potatoes. And then here I have a 1/4 to 1/2 of a chopped red onion. You can use whatever onion you like. And then this right here is the last of my baby carrots from my garden. And I decided I'd go ahead and use them up. So it was about a cup's worth of baby carrots chopped up. So any size carrot, just chop them up. And this is about the size of my potato here. And again, you can chop these a lot finer if you'd like. You can make these a much smaller dice if you like. This is the way I like it. And again, this called for the onion soup. 3/4 cup of water, and I wasn't doing quite as much as them, so I only went with about 2/3 cup of water. And 4 medium carrots, and I just did what I had left of my baby carrots, but it was 4 medium carrots diced, and 1 bag of frozen O'Brien potatoes with the onions and the peppers mixed into the bag of it. But I'm making this fresh and I made my own mix. So, but you can use a bag, 1 28-ounce bag of the frozen O'Brien potatoes, okay? Now we've cooked our beef in the 12-inch skillet over medium-high heat for 10 minutes, and we stirred it occasionally, we browned it, and then we drained it. So we have that. I just showed you that. Now what you are supposed to do is you're supposed to mix the tomato puree, the mushroom soup in a medium bowl, and stir in the onion soup in the water. Well, I'm going to bypass that. I think that's an unnecessary bowl to clean. I'm just going to go ahead, just make sure that you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and take this butter flavored Crisco spray, and I'm just going to spray my pan. I'm going to go ahead and put in my tomato puree with the tomatoes, or with the mushrooms. Like I said, I'm only making enough for 2 people, and we'll probably still have leftovers. And it says to mix the mushroom soup with that. So there we go. Mix that mushroom soup in there with that. Looks good. Let's get you where you can maybe see this a little better. Okay, now we know that I don't have the onion soup, So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to sprinkle in the onions. In the onion soup, there would also be some ground salt. And there would be some pepper. I'll go ahead and pepper up my potatoes and my carrots as well. I'll go ahead and salt them as well. Those smell good. I'm going to go ahead and throw in about a tablespoon. If you can see that. Here, I don't think you can see where you're at now. There we go. Now I just threw my onions in here and salt and peppered it. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in about a tablespoon of my dehydrated sweet peppers, my yellow and red sweet peppers. Just going to give that a stir. Again, that's the cream of mushroom soup and with the tomato puree that had the mushrooms in it. I'm putting in my dehydrated red peppers. You can put in fresh red peppers. If you buy the pre-made potatoes O'Brien, that's already got peppers and the onions in it. But I, however, have to add that in. And it says to add in the water. I don't find that to be completely necessary. I'm only going to put in a 1/4 cup of water because my cream of mushroom soup was not condensed. And since I didn't put in the onion soup that had the beef broth in it, that's another reason why I added just a little bit of water. Like I said, you can vary off this recipe according to what you have in your kitchen. Okay, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of beef bouillon to make up for that onion soup that had the beef stock in it. So I'll just go ahead and stir that in. That'll give it a nice beefy flavor. This smells really good. At this stage, you can go ahead and turn this on low. Okay, now it says to go ahead and add the beef, blend that in. Again, there's not a lot of beef in here. I mean, if I'd done the 3 pounds, there would have been a lot more beef to this recipe. So I probably got it more soupy than what, that's another reason why I held back on the water. Because this right here is about the consistency right here that you want. Now reserving out 1 cup of potatoes. And I'll do that now. There we go. I reserved out a cup of potatoes like it said to. Set that aside. We're going to go ahead and put our sliced carrots and our potatoes into the crocker. Yes, I called it a crocker. There you go. We're just going to blend and mix. Blend and mix. And this will thicken up and kind of go away from that soupiness of it. This looks good. It looks good, but I'll tell you what. I don't know, you think it needs something? Those red peppers will swell up and that'll give it some color. Okay, and it says to just put the 1 cup of potatoes then right on top of that. I don't really get that theory, but I'm going to do it. Okay, we already added the teaspoon of salt, so it called for a teaspoon of salt. Alright, so I just reread it, and it looks like we've got it the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to give you an up close. Right, and that's the up close of what it's supposed to look like. This is getting warm already. And it says to take that reserved cup of potatoes and to sprinkle them across the top. Now why that is, I don't know, but... And that is it. So now we're just going to place on the lid. That looks good. I'm just going to place on the lid. And you can do it on low for about 8 hours, 7, 8, 9 hours, just until the potatoes are tender. So this is something you can put on before you head off to work. But I'm going to put it on high because I'm in spring cleaning my bedroom. I've taken all my canopy apart. My husband's off washing the canopy parts to the curtains on our canopy on our bed. And we're getting ready to take the bed out and repaint the room and do some things. So I wanted a fast crock pot meal, and I saw this and I said, I love hash browns, I love potatoes O'Brien, and I love tomato saucy things. So this kind of had a combination of everything I had in the cabinet and things like the carrots that I wanted to use up from my garden. Because I mean, we're in mid-March, and these are still carrots from my garden that I didn't even can. These are carrots that I have in the produce keeper of my refrigerator. So, so anyway, that's where we're at. And on high, this will probably go for probably about 4 or 5 hours. I'll come back and check it at 3, 3.5, and we'll see where we're at. If you have to, you can always take and start it and get it going on high and then turn it back down and then finish it up on warm for maybe another hour or two. But this is, it looks good. So this is going to be our dinner tonight, and we'll see you back here. I'll probably put some cheddar cheese on the top of this and melt this in the last 30 minutes of in the crocker. I'll probably melt some cheddar cheese or something on this. So, okay, well, we'll see you back here in a couple of hours. Okay, so here it is. And I ended up putting some leftover ravioli in this, and that just made it. But I have to tell you, a little bit of cheese on top of this, I sampled it, and it is absolutely delicious. This is definitely a keeper, and I give it about a 9. All right? It's hard to get a 10 with me, though. So we're going to go over and we're going to let Heavy try it, and we're going to find out. Here you go. We're going to find out what Hubby thinks. Very hot, be careful. This has mushroom soup and tomato soup in it.
It's great.
It's good. Mm-hmm. And it's actually really good with the ravioli in it. So
it's very good.
I would definitely add a bag of frozen ravioli. It only cooks in 2 minutes. I would add that in the last few minutes of the cooking. So what would you rate this one?
I like it. It's a 10.
Another 10. You heard it. Blessings.